Chapter 164. Xianyu's departure, returning to the sect, 3 complete transformations. The cultivators of the Immortal Gate, led by Zhou Ping, eventually discovered the secret of the secret realm. A hearty puff of blood cloud suddenly burst out, standing a slender figure, exuding a terrifying power ripple. Upon closer inspection, standing within the blood cloud was an alluring woman completely soaked in blood. Dragging long strands of bloody hair, her skin was so translucent and crystal clear that it seemed to be carved out of white jade. Sighting this alluring woman bursting from the ground, Elder Langlang of the Dragon Sparrow sect was taken aback. "Isn't this Lu Xuan, the direct disciple of God Cultivation Peak?" "Lu Xuan, how did you get out?" However, Lu Xuan did not respond. A cruel light flashed in her eyes, and a tumultuous aura surged around her. She rushed towards Elder Langlang, letting out a piercing laughter. Blood, so delicious, so much blood. Elder Yu, be careful, she seems off. Her aura is chaotic and aggressive, utterly strange. The elders of Cloud and Rosy Cloud's Mountain and the head teacher of Tenlan Peak simultaneously launched their divine skills, attacking Lu Xuan. However, there was a golden fog surrounding her body, protecting her. The attacks of these 3 deity transformation realm experts didn't hurt her. Lu Xuan realized she was no match for them, and chose to flee immediately. Even with several deity transformation realm cultivators join hands, they couldn't stop her. Having already reached the deity transformation realm, Lu Xuan moved at an astonishingly high speed. Turning into a stream of blood light, she rushed into the vast and boundless northern Great Wall. Since then, with Zhou Ping of the Purple Celestial Realm's command, the Golden Cicada secret realm was wide open. The Taoists guarding all sects assembled their auras and immediately entered the secret realm. Since Zhou Ping had earlier confronted the numerous devil cultivators at the gate, certain cultivators rushed back to the Blessed Land and Cave Heavens to send a message, notifying more top-level experts to prepare for a joint attack against the people of the Baitia demon sect. The entrance to the secret realm. Yan Ding's spiritual sense covered half of the secret realm. His face was solemn, his black beard fluttered, and his robe rustled in the wind. Even though he was a supreme mage, it was quite challenging to resist the attack of multiple deity transformation realm experts. The people arriving would only increase. Unless his main body came, it would be impossible to resist. However, this is unlikely, as his main body had not fully recovered after a century of recuperation. Considering this bloodthirsty body is critical and, unlike the ones made of clay, he couldn't afford to die now. Additionally, the swordswoman Zhou Ping of the Purple Celestial World was quite tricky to deal with. Therefore, he sent a message 1,000 miles away. "It's time to retreat." Ning Yujing received the message, her face solemn. "But demon chart is not yet in our hands." She was quite unwilling. Her beautiful eyes turned towards Han Ye's position. 6 ice swords were triggered, planning to make the final attempt. Shoo! Shoo! The fleeing swords pierced through the air towards Han Ye. Ignoring the attack of the water beast's tentacles, she was determined to deal with Han Ye. Faced with numerous ice swords, Han Ye was in imminent danger. At the critical moment, an ancient green lawn sword tore through the sky, and a white-skirted woman with a bronze mask appeared. Xianyu stood in front of Han Ye, blocking this blow for him. "Tem, why block?" Ning Yujing's gaze was icy cold. Unreconciled, she formed 2 giant ice hands in the void that swiftly clapped together, intending to freeze Han Ye in a cage. Han Ye did not sit back and wait for death. A green wine and thunder seal enveloped him. Crack, buted quickly crack, under the impact of the icy hands, and seemed about to shatter. Immovable ashes, Han Ye sat cross-legged in the void. Behind him, a giant rakshasa with 3 heads and 6 arms appeared and pushed open the 2 giant ice hands. Seeing this, Ning Yujing narrowed her eyes and said, "Ik knew it. The immovable rakshasa contemplation. The demon chart is on you." No sooner had she finished speaking, a long sword jet, fast as thunder, emerged in the sky. "Sacred woman, watch out!" Ning Cultivator, who was standing beside Ning Yujing, exclaimed, blocking in front of her, launching their respective life magic treasures and divine powers. However, they vanished in an instant. Whether it was the magic treasures or divine powers, they were just like paper, easily punctured. Along with their flesh bodies, they were all cut down by this sword shed, turning into bloody fog and dissipating. The nascent souls fleeing in the air, under the residual sword intent dragged out by the terrifying sword Che, didn't even have time to escape before they vanished. Fortunately, someone blocked this sword. Ning Yujing was able to shift her position in advance. However, her pupils constricted, and she couldn't believe the imminent danger she felt. If she had been cut by that sword Che, she would have indeed perished. Looking down at the ground, a one-armed old man with white hair appeared on the ground. With a cloudy gaze, he looked up at the sky, saw strong. Hanye couldn't help but be stunned by this sight. With just one sword, several Yuanyan cultivators had been slaughtered along with their nascent souls. Who was this one-armed old man who had suddenly appeared? He looked like a one-armed sword god. Chu Xianyu on one side, however, had a complex expression upon seeing this man. Grandmother. Grandmother. Upon hearing this address, Hanye had a strange look on his face. Grandmother is generally one's teacher's teacher. Chu Xianyu's swordsmanship was taught by his father. Could it be this old man was Chu Changkan, the current patriarch of the Chu family's master? Chu Changkan is known as the first of the 10 swords, the supreme one in the sword, the former lord of the Fuyao Sword Palace. What kind of person would his master be? The one-armed old man was indifferent, but when he looked at Chu Xianyu, his eyes held a trace of concern. I know you're angry with me, but it's time you stopped playing around and came home with me. There's been a change at home, and they need you back. Chu Xianyu was not at all grateful, she replied coldly. I'm a disciple of the Dragon Sparrow sect now. Didn't he say he doesn't recognize me as his daughter? What? Has he changed his mind now? Usually kind Chu Xianyu, in the face of this kind of situation, was surprisingly tough. And 3. Your father. I will teach him a lesson for you. During the conversation between grandmother and grandson, Ning Yujing saw the situation going south and decided to run away. She didn't care about the lives of her subordinates. She ripped an ancient talisman inscription to leave this place. I'm still talking. I didn't give you permission to leave. The one-armed old man glances casually to the sky. Thousands of sword Che rose from nowhere and launched towards Ning Yujing. Just when she was on the brink of death, an image of a towering and blood-red gluttonous beast appeared. It opened its mouth and swallowed all the sword Che. A voice sternly questioned, Chu Yaoquan, you dare to harm my niece. The voice came before the person could be seen. The figure of a middle-aged man with black whiskers emerged from thin air. The one-armed old man slightly lifted his eyes. An overwhelming sword intent radiated from him, fierce and unparalleled, as if thousands of swords were pressuring like Mount Tai. His calm words with determination restant. Do you want to compete? Humph. Yongding narrowed his eyes slightly and snorted slightly, knowing that this expedition into the secret realm was likely coming to an end. He made a pinching gesture with his 5 fingers, and the blood-red image of the gluttonous beast reappeared, opening its mouth to swallow him and Ning Yujing. The two disappeared in an instant from this world. The one-armed old man showed no intention of pursuit but looked towards Chu Xianyu. His intentions were clear. Chu Xianyu sighed deeply and her beautiful eyes shimmered. It seems that you have never considered my feelings. No matter how she resisted, she had no choice. It was the same when she started learning swordsmanship, and it is still the same now. She shook her head and finally turned her gaze in the direction of Hanye. Hanye, after returning to the sect, you must practice your swordsmanship well. Even if Hanye didn't understand fully, he realized that Chu Xianyu was leaving. The strength of the Dragon Sparrow sect was not substantially enough in front of Fuyao Chu family. He nodded with a smile. Miss Chu. Don't worry. I definitely will. Hope we meet again in the future. Chu Xianyu looked at him deeply one last time and gently touched the bronze mask on her face. She gave him a storage ring. Not until the one-armed old man and Chu Xianyu had left the secret realm. When Hanye opened the storage ring, he found that there was only a white silk cloth inside. The last incident that Hanye witnessed was the entrance of many elders from various sects into the Golden Cicada secret realm, and they suppressed all the devil cultivators who escaped, locking them all up. The leading man from the Ziwei Heavenly Domain was a middle-aged uncle with a stubble beard, and he looked very powerful, suppressing all the remaining devil cultivators. The disciples in the Golden Cicada secret realm gradually returned to the surface. Hundreds of people entered, but less than 100 people came out alive, close to 100, with 70% casualties. Among them, some were killed by underground barbarian beasts, some died in the contention for treasures, and many were killed by devil cultivators. Those who were undercover members from the demonic cult who infiltrated the major sects were also pulled out. There were even disciples from the inner gate and direct disciples among them. Even some famous geniuses from cave heavens were affiliated with the demonic sect. Some elders personally executed the undercover agents of the demonic sect, cutting off their heads and throwing their bodies outside the secret realm into the jungle, smashing them into bloody mud and feeding them to the wild beasts. Looking at how they dealt with the traitors and infiltrators, Xianyu realized that even righteous cultivators would never show mercy to their enemies. Once they were discovered, they would be mercilessly killed. Out of the 15 disciples from the Dragon Sparrow sect, only 6 survived: Hua Yuchen, Liu Chengfeng, Chu Xianyu, Wang Daniu, and 2 true disciples. The rest were all fallen. Both Ning Yujing and Chu Xianyu had left, leaving only 5 people in the team. This expedition to the Golden Cicada's secret realm ended like this. Everyone who survived realized significant improvements in their cultivation and obtained many precious cultivation resources. As long as they refined these cultivation resources, their cultivation would surely advance rapidly. After returning to the sect, they could quickly become experts within the sect, becoming direct and true disciples. Moreover, they were all geniuses among geniuses. They survived the perilous test of the Golden Cicada secret realm and would surely receive key grooming from the sect in the future. Under the escort of Elder Yu Linglong, Xianyu and the others returned to the sect. Wang Daniu became an inner sect disciple. Not long after Liu Chengfeng and Hua Yuchen returned to the sect, they were promoted to direct disciples. Everything about Ning Yujing was reported to the high level of the sect. The headmaster was also aware of this matter and started a major rectification of the entire sect. Eventually, the cave mansion was left with only Xianyu. Inside the cold cave mansion, it was rather quiet. He couldn't hear the laughter of junior sister Ning, and he didn't have to worry about a sudden visit from Chu Xianyu anymore. Xianyu began to retreat for cultivation, preparing to refine the cultivation resources obtained from the Golden Cicada secret realm to enhance his cultivation. Sitting cross-legged on the white jade stone bed in the quiet cave mansion, Xianyu took out his spatial treasure bracelet and placed it on the ground in front of him. Upon opening the jade box, a strong Orian medicinal scent emanated from the box. Above hundreds of 3-leaf scorching chegras, each one contains a strong medicinal effect. For a cultivator at the Che cultivation realm, even refining one can make them break through a realm. For cultivators in the foundation establishment stage, the effect is not insignificant either, as it can shorten their hard cultivation time by half a year. Before he left Burning Spring Lake, he took a lot of benefits from the ancient water beast as a repayment to him. After all, he had helped it avoid disaster out of nowhere. Half a month went by. Xianyu refined 15 3-leaf scorching chegrasses. His cultivation had once again improved, and his magic power in the Chessi reached 6 times its original level. The perfect body during foundation establishment has undergone to further tempering. But the improvements in cultivation were secondary. What was more crucial was the improvement of Xanyu's physical condition. Now, he estimated that he could condense a golden pill above the 6th level. Xianyu held a gigantic ancient book that was 1 meter long and half a meter thick. In the Middle Age, all those who had stepped into the 9-turn golden pill are recorded in the book. Even now there aren't many people who can break through to the 9-turn golden pill. It can be said that the more than 75,000 people recorded in the book, each one of them is more outstanding than today's figures. Therefore, if he wanted to break through the 9-turn golden pill, he had to continue to retreat further.